Very good morning everyone. Welcome back to the new session of our subject, that is computer organization and architecture. In the previous session we have completed the theoretical portion of combinational circuit and sequential circuit. I have added one slide regarding the difference between sequential circuit and combinational circuit, because if it is there in the exam as a difference, at that time you need to write accordingly, right? So let me share the slides regarding the difference between combinational circuit and sequential circuit. This you need to write in the book, so that at the time of exam, if it is asked as a difference, at that time you need to write the following table. Always write the difference as a point wise, so that it is easy to remember. The first point is of output. So if you referred the previous session properly, at that time you can easily able to write the following points. Say for example, the first point is regarding the output. So in the combinational circuit, the output is depends on the present value of input variable. But in the sequential circuit, we have applied two inputs. One input is depends from the external source. That means it depends on the present input value as well as the past output value, because see, at the time of output of flip-flop, that cable we have passed as an input of sequential circuit. Let me share the block diagram of both combinational circuit as well as sequential circuit, so that you people can easily understand the given points over here. See, this is the block diagram of combinational circuit. In combinational circuit, there is one input and there is output, right? And in between that you have used different types of logic gates. But over here there is input and output. Output is not depends on anything else, right? So similarly in the sequential circuit, we have memory elements which is called flip-flop. So the output of flip-flop goes as an input of combinational circuit. So over here the first difference is what? Output. Output in the combinational circuit depends on the present value, whereas in the sequential circuit it depends on the present input value as well as the past output value, which is already stored with the flip-flop. The second point is regarding memory. So in the combinational circuit there is no concept of flip-flop, right? So over here you can write no, where in the sequential circuit we have a memory used to store the output data. Now feedback path from output to input, it is the line, this one. This is called feedback path from output to input. So naturally it is there in the sequential circuit, but it is not available with the combinational circuit. So there is a feedback path available from the output to the input in the sequential circuit, but there is no path available from output to input in the combinational circuit. So over here you need to write yes, over here you need to write no. Next is called clock signal. Naturally we have clock pulse and clock transition, right? So that is available with the sequential circuit, whereas in the combinational circuit there is no such type of concept like clock, right? In the figure of block diagram of sequential circuit only we have used clock, right? And clock is responsible to perform actions like clock transition, right? So timer will be there as a sequential circuit, but it is not there in the combinational circuit. Now naturally the circuit will be simpler when you create it using combinational circuit, but naturally when you form any sequential circuit it becomes a complex circuit, because we need to add a flip-flop, we need to add different types of combinational circuit. There is input variables on which there are certain output variables. Similarly you need to add clock pulses. So naturally when you design a circuit, at that time sequential circuit becomes a complex circuit. Now the examples of combinational circuits are adder, subtractor, encoder, decoder, multiplexer and demultiplexer. These all are the examples of combinational circuit, whereas counters and shift registers are the examples of sequential circuit. Next is called speed. Naturally there is no concept of clock available in the combinational circuit, so it provides you a faster speed comparative with the sequential circuit, because there is a clock. So any transition is depends on the clock, right? So naturally if the signal is weak, at that time it becomes slow. If clock signal is fast, at that time you will get higher output or faster output. So naturally there is a combinational circuit, it is simpler and faster in a speed, whereas when you work with a sequential circuit, the circuit becomes complex, as well as output would be slower in that case. So I hope the following difference is properly clear, and only clear if your previous videos or previous concept is properly clear. Then and then only you are able to write the given points. Now let us move towards our today's session, which is related with the adder. So if the word adder is there, right, so you can observe from the difference. We have example of adders over here. See, so adder is a part of combinational circuit only. So we are going to learn the adder, right? So adder means what? Add means addition, right? So in a digital circuit, when you want to perform addition of a number, at that time you are going to use adders. Naturally if subtractor are there, it is responsible for performing subtraction operation, right? Minus operation you want to perform with any digital circuit or binary data. At that time either you can use addition or subtractions. Adders are responsible to perform addition of number, whereas subtractors are used to subtract two numbers, right? So adders are important not only in the computer but also in the digital system in which numeric data are processed. Numeric data means when there is a requirement of performing calculations like addition and subtraction. At that time either you can use adders or subtractors to perform digital operations like addition or subtraction. Let me repeat this point once again, that these adders are not only used with the computer system, but it is also used with the system in which there is a numeric data processing requirement, right? So at that time you are able to use adders or subtractors. Now in preprocessors, it is used to calculate addresses, table indices, increment and decrement operators, and to perform similar operations. So when there is a task related with the processor. So inside processor you need to calculate memory address. So for that also adders are used. There are various tables available with the processor. So similarly you want to calculate the the tables based on the processor. So at that time also you can use adders. There is a increment and decrement of operators like plus plus and minus minus, right? So in such cases also you can use the concept of adders, or any related operations you want to perform. In all the cases you can use adders or subtractors. So these three are the points related with the adders. Let me repeat it once again. Adders are nothing but when you want to perform addition of numbers in digital circuit, at that time there is a role of adder. Adders are important not only in the computer but also in a digital system when there is a requirement to perform processing on a numerical data. It can be useful in the processor to calculate address of memory, to create a table, to perform increment and decrement of operations, or to perform any similar operations regarding the processor. So these all are the requirement of adders. There are two types of adders. One is called half adder and another is called full adder. Now see, when there is a requirement to perform addition of two numbers, right, at that time you can use half adder, and when there is a requirement of performing addition of three numbers, at that time you can use full adder. So there is a difference between half adder and full adder. Half adder is responsible to add two numbers and full adder is responsible to add three numbers. Now how the data is added using half adder, let us refer the points regarding half adder. Here are the steps which you need to follow when you want to design the half adder circuit, right? So first of all, what is a half adder? So half adder is nothing but it is a part of combinational circuit, as I have told you in the very beginning that adder is a part of combinational circuit only. So in any combinational circuit, when you want to perform any arithmetic operations like addition of 2 bit, at that time that operation is known as half adder. The input variable of half adders are known as oggends. See, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. These all are the combinations of two input variables, right? So that combination is referred as oggends. This may be asked in a 1 mark, that the input variable of half adder are called blank. So in blank you need to write oggend. Now input variable means A and B. So A and B are the oggend in this case, right? Now see, when output will be there, so that output is referred as a sum and carry. Sum and carry, right? Sum is referred with S and carry is referred with C. So there is two input variable over here and two output variable over here. The input variable A and B are referred as oggends, and output variable S and C, that means sum and carry, are referred as a addend. Addend, right? So addend bits means output variable and oggends means input variable. Now for two input variable we have two outputs. I have already told you that in a combinational circuit there is a n number of input and m number of output. So over here for half adder you have two input and two output. For input it is referred as a oggend, Agent means A and B variable. Sum and carry are the output variable which can be denoted using S and C. Is that clear to everyone? So here the two input variables are X and Y. You can take any one. If you want to take AB, then it's okay. XY, then it's okay. Over here in our example, we have taken variable X and Y. The output variables are S for sum and C for carry. Right? Now, over here we have the block diagram of half adder. You just need to apply two input related with the X and Y variable, which can be referred as agents S and C, responsible for performing sum and carry task in the addend side, and it is referred as a output variable, and in between there is a half adder over here. Now see, over here we have the truth table of half adder. Half adder means two values. So first of all you need to write combinations having two variables regarding X and Y. Input variable is in the form of red color and output variables are in the form of blue color. Now X, Y, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Right? So over here C equals to 0 0 0 1. Now how it performs? So addition of 2 0 will return 0. Sum of two number will. Right? You need to see the truth table of OR gate because X plus Y is the sum. So X plus Y means what? 0 0 will return 0. 0 1 will return 1, 1 0 will return 1, and 1 1 in the truth table of X plus Y will return again 1, but it is related to the carry. So always remember one thing, that whenever there is a addition of 1 1, at that time carry would be 1 and sum would be of 0. Got it? Now over here you can see S equals to 1 1 is there, in which case X dash Y and X Y dash. So we can write the Boolean function of S equals to X dash Y plus X Y dash. Let me repeat this point once again. First of all, you need to draw the block diagram of half adder. You need to provide two input variable which is referred as agent, and sum and carry both are the output variable which can be referred as addend. Right? Now over here in the truth table, what you need to do, you need to write carry and sum, right? That both are the output variable which is marked with the blue color, and input variable are marked with a red color. Half adder means two input variable. So over here we have written four possible combinations for two input variables, that is 0 0, 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. Now when you perform sum, that means addition of 0 0, it will return 0, 0 1 will return 1, 1 0 will return 1 and 1 1 will return 1 as a carry. Now see, if you want to write the Boolean function of S variable, at that time S equals to X dash plus Y, X Y dash. Right? So that is how we have written that. In this particular case in which S generates 1. So in this both cases the value of S would be 1. So what is the combination of this? 0 1. So X dash Y X Y dash, that I have written in a blue mark. and for C equals to x into y, because in the last case only it will generate 1. So from the truth table you can write S equals to x dash y plus xy dash, which is nothing but it is a XOR gate. See, this is XOR gate only. So XOR gate can be represented using x, then plus, then there is one bubble, and then y. So from the truth table only you can form the Boolean function regarding sum and carry. Sum is nothing but x dash y dash plus xy dash. How these Boolean functions are formed? Using truth table. How truth table are formed? You just need to follow x plus y. X plus y means OR gate. So in the OR gate there is 0 0. That means sum returns 0, then 1, then 1. But in the last combination, when you perform addition of two numbers, at that time it will return sum as a 0 and carry would be 1. Now there is two output as a 1. That means S equals to 1 in two cases, x dash y and xy dash, which is nothing but it is XOR gate only. And C equals to x into y, that means it is AND gate. So now from the truth table only you are able to draw the circuit regarding the same two input variable x and y. This is the XOR gate which we have already understand in the at the time of logic gates, right? So we have taken the circuit of x XOR y gate over here, and it is equals to sum. So I have written output variable sum as S. Now see the variable C, that means carry equals to x into y over here. 1 means x into y. So x into y can be represented using AND gate. So the diagram would be in this way, and finally carry is generated. So this is the logic diagram for the half adder circuit, and over here we have used two gates, number 1 XOR gate and number 2 AND gate. So this is all about half adders, right, which you need to write properly. Over here x dash y plus xy dash is nothing but it is a sum, and it represents XOR gate, and C equals to x into y refers the AND gate. Over here there are two outputs. In previous circuit we never have we never have multiple output. In that case only one output is there, right? But over here using half adder you need to take two variables x or y. Based on that you need to write possible combinations. In the truth table you need to find the value of sum and carry, that is the output variable. Based on the truth table you need to form the Boolean function. Based on the Boolean function you need to write the logical diagram. So from this you can say that half adder circuit consists of the collection of XOR gate as well as AND gate. Is that clear to everyone? Now see, the second is called full adder. Here are the steps to design the full adder. Full adders can be designed using combinational circuit, but over here there is a 3-bit of input variables, right? So when there is a requirement to perform addition of 3 numbers, at that time you need to use full adders. So over here there are 3 input variables x, y and z. Over here there are 2 output variables which can be referred as a sum and carry. Sum is a binary variable, gives the value of least significant bit of sum, and C is a binary variable which is used to give a carry. So let us repeat the step number 2 once again. When you work with full adders, there is a 3-bit of addition using combinational circuit. So there are 3 input variable and 2 output variables. Now 3 input variables are x, y and z respectively. S and C are the output variable. S represents least significant bit of sum and C represents output variable for carry. Now block diagram of full adder is 3 input variable x, y and z, full adder, sum and query. So 3 input variable, 2 output variable, block diagram of full adder. It is easy, yes or no? Now we need to define the truth table for full adders. What you need to do, 3 input variable possible combinations would be 8. So 0 0 0 0 0 1. Accordingly you need to write. Now I am going to repeat this again and again for those students who still not able to write the possible combinations for 3 input variable. For them, what you need to do, in the last column you need to write combinations of 0 1 0 1. In the column of y you need to write 2 times 0, 2 times 1, again 2 times 0, 2 times 1. And in the first column you just need to write 4 times 0 and 4 times 1. So in this way you can form the input variables regarding 3 variables. Now you need to write carry and sum. So for the sum there is 0 0 0, that means 0 0 will return 0, right? Now 0 0 1 will return 1, again 0 1 0, there is only 1. Now consider this particular case, 0 1 1. In this particular case, see the previous table of half adder. What will be the output of 2 times 1? There is a carry 1 and sum 0. So for that you need to write sum as a 0 and carry 1. Over this, in this combination there is only 1, so output would be 1. Over here again 2 1 is there, so 1 0 combination is there. 2 1, again 1 0. 3 times 1, at that time carry would be 1 and sum would be 1. I want to repeat this truth table once again. I hope the input combinations are clear. There is no doubt regarding such. So let me explain the output of variable S and C. So for 0 0 0 combination, output would be 0 in the sum column, right? Now consider the second combination. The second combination is 0 0 1. That means how many 1 are there? Only single. So sum would be 1. Again 0 1 0. How many 1 are there? Only single. So output would be 1 as a sum. Now for the third one, that means 0 1 1. How many 1 values are there? 2 values, right? So those people who do not understand need to refer half adder to truth table. Over here see, when there is a 0, sum would be 0. There is 0 1, sum would be 1. There is 1 0, that means only one time 1 is there, it will return 1. And when there is 2 times 1, at that time carry would be 1 and sum would be 0. So similarly in the truth table of full adder, you need to count how many 1 are there. Based on that you need to write sum. In the first combination there is no 1, so you need to write 0. Over here only single 1 is there, so you need to write 1. In this single 1, so you need to write sum as a 1. there are 2 times of 1 over here, so 1 0. Similarly 1 time 1 is there in this combination, so 0 1 combination. Over here 1 0 1, 2 time 1 is there, so 1 0, 2 time 1 1 0. For the last combination only you need to write 1 in each case, that means 1 as a sum and 1 as a carry. Now what you need to do, you need to write the combinations for this x dash y dash z 1, right? So over here x dash y dash z, x dash y z dash, x dash y z, x y dash z dash, x y dash z, x y z dash and x y z. Now in the Boolean function of s, from the truth table tell me the Boolean function of s, how will you form? You need to write combinations where value equals to 1. That means s equals to x dash y dash z plus x dash y z dash plus x y dash z dash plus x y z. This is the Boolean function for s. Now let us form the Boolean function for c. 1 is there in this case, x dash y z plus x y dash z plus x y z dash plus x y z. So wherever the value of 1 is there, you need to add it into the Boolean function. So over here we have the Boolean function written over here. So from the truth table of full adder, the output is 1 when the odd number of inputs are 1. Odd means single number, right? S is an odd function and represents exclusive OR relations for the 3 input variable. So for 3 input variable, XOR gate can be represented using X plus and bubble, Y plus and bubble and Z. So X dash Y dash Z plus X dash Y Z dash plus X Y dash Z dash plus X Y Z can be represented as 3 variable exclusive OR gate. Is that clear to everyone? Similarly, the Boolean function C can be represented using X dash Y Z plus X Y dash Z plus X Y Z dash plus X Y Z. Now you can take X Y as a common factor from the given point and Z dash plus Z is there in the bracket. So instead of Z dash plus Z, that is the postulate, right? So that can be resulted into 1. So, and from this particular combination you can take Z as a common factor. So Z, X dash plus Y and X Y dash. So now let us rearrange the given statement. XY I have written at the beginning plus X dash Y plus XY dash is nothing but it is the representation of or XOR gate. So over here I have written XOR and multiplied by Z. Is that clear to everyone? So Boolean function for S is 3 input variable of XOR gate and C means XY plus X XOR Y into Z. So this is the Boolean function. This is the logic diagram to represent full adders. Don't get confused for the full adder. See, there are 2 half adders we have added over here, right? Half adder 1 and half adder 2. This is the circuit of half adder only. Now see, when there is a addition of 3 binary numbers, at that time first of all X XOR Y, then that is the output over here. X is XOR Y is there. I am going to apply it into the Z over here. So this is the XOR gate. So over here what will be the output? S equals to X XOR Y XOR Z. So to perform addition of 3 number, you require to have 2 XOR gate over here. Is that clear to everyone? Now what happens? Now we need to apply X into Z. So for performing X into Z, I need to take a cable from the variable X and I need to take a cable from the variable, okay, over here don't take this cable, you need to take the cable from Z, right? This is a little bit wrong. Instead of Y, you need to take a cable from Z. Be careful, right? So output would be X into Z. So this I will get. Now what is my next requirement? Z into X XOR Y. So XOR Y I have already taken from here, and Z cable I can take it from here. So over here I will get Z XOR Y and X into Z over here. Now we need to apply addition. Addition can be performed using OR gate. This circuit can only be possible if you have cleared the previous concept, how to draw the logic circuit. At that time only you are able to draw the following figure, right? So in first of all, don't write directly in the fair book, just write in the rough book. You just need to delete this line from Y to Z, right? Instead of that, you need to take a cable from Z variable. Is that clear to everyone? So this is more than enough for our today's session. This is the difference between half adder and full adder. First of all, half adder is a combination of 2 input variable and full adder is a combination of 3 input variable. Now input can be represented by A and B or X or Y. Output is referred as a sum and carry. Carry is not used previously as a half adder, but previous carry is used in full adder. Get can be used to draw diagram of half adder like XOR and AND. Over here there are 2 XOR gate, 2 AND gate and 1 OR gate. Generally half adder can be useful for calculators or computers, whereas full adders are used for the digital processor. So these all are the points regarding the difference between half adder and full adder. I hope the concept is properly clear, and don't forget that half adder and full adders are the part of combinational circuit only. So now the sequential circuit portion, that means flip-flop, right? Flip-flop is nothing but it is a memory location. So the last concept of the given unit is what? The flip-flop. There are 4 types of flip-flop which we need to understand, that we gonna learn in our next session. Till there, goodbye everyone.